by the way, I want to quickly note, I hate the fact that this Cabrakan is support instead of solo. I have literally no reason as to why that's the case. It's literally a winning side for both sides here if this cab is actually solo rather than support. Sobek's a better support, cab's a better solo. So that makes no sense. I know Liz likes cab support, but that's also a little weird. I think Saint Zaps was actually on one of Spirited Book's teams, and he was a big Sobek player. I might be wrong. This is for like, I'm like deep diving into RSL, I think. I might be wrong. There was a, no, 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 no. It wasn't Saint Zaps. It was El Dirty Bubble. My bad. My bad. I'm trying to dive deep into the lore here. I don't remember. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, well, let's see what happens, folks. Let's see if I can get some W casting. So we should expect some mid pressure from this Aphrodite because she has conduit, which is yeah not a good situation for this this little Hecate. Thor's doing a start on backsides there, which is a little bit outdated because of XP nerfs, but we'll let it happen. Soul in, I mean, you should see some poke from this Sobek. Interesting to note Chalk went Shell, which is okay, just a choice. And yes, maybe some fireworks in dual lane. That's kind of what I'm expecting. I think this blue team dual lane is very strong. A lot more DPS potential, I think, in this early game. But we'll have to see what happens. Rune is very low over here. The Sobek is just kind of harassing him. That's pretty scary. He should be fine, but yeah, can't get that far poked out this early. Just have a lot of pots, so he should be fine. I'm keeping my eyes a little bit towards mid. We got a bit of damage here. Speed buff, which is the mid, does not get stolen away right there. So red team actually ending up to getting an invade. We're getting a bit of a gank in mid here on Aphrodite. Super far pushed up. Down pathing looks okay. The mez is good. And I think she's fine. Yeah, she's more than okay. Good rock path. Makes the Thana gank a little bit homeless. But again, as Thana, what do you really want to do? You want to kind of play sides as fast as you can. So expect to see this Thanatos head back. A lot of damage on the Cerberus. Shell forced. It's not going to be enough from red side, but I'm surprised they've had this much pressure in this lane. It should kind of start to equalize a little bit more, but yeah, I would imagine blue team should win this early, but I guess not. We see the Thor hover. This hover is absolutely worthless. It does nothing. So I'm not really sure what the point of this is, unless Bari just walks up. Serb is walking up for absolutely no reason. It's just going to end. I get the idea. You're like, we have a gank here, but I don't get it. 1-for-1's going to happen. Bari passive is applied. Good dash from Furballer. There could be a kill here. Dash back from Cupid. So 1-for-1 so far. Can it get better? Yes, Thanatos will die, and the Bari will die as well. 3-for-1 trade. And a really, really bad play by the Serb right there. I mean, you can't, like, even if you have your jungler, number one, guys, like, you have your jungler, their jungler's not on the map. Chances are, guys, like, he could probably be there, right? Is Soul Lane a playable lane for this Thor? No. Why? Because Thor has pressure in solo. Is mid lane a playable lane for the mid laner, or for the Thor? At the time, no, he doesn't have ult. Where is he probably going to be? Probably duo. And if you're 20% health going into a fight, what do you expect is going to happen? That was just really bad decision making right there. And yeah, tough stuff. A mid lane ultimate used by the Thor aggressively forces Kate beads, gets the Thor Aegis back. So good job from Instructed Living. And yeah, rough stuff though. Definitely a good play from red team to look for that though. And I mean, good for them on sticking the fight. It looked a little dodgy at first, you see. I think a couple of slight misses, but overall, really good look. You see a 1,500 gold lead off that, and that's kind of the dream scenario. Your Thor's got 2 kills, he can roam pretty effectively. I like that he insta-looked for a play in mid. It didn't work, but you still forced the Kate beads. So you want to kind of just like hover on that angle again and see if you can do something. Again, Soul Lane is sort of stabilizing with his Chalk now beginning to get a little bit of the better end. This is pretty normal, and Chalk should get ahead in this lane in a short while. We'll see what they end up building, if he goes damage or not. I hope Chalk does not go damage, but we'll see. And dual lane is, yeah, a little bit more in the back foot now. Obviously, blue team was having some struggles, but double level 5s to a 5 and a 4 means this mid camp looks good. But we see a Thanatos ult in onto this Thor, who is able to hammer out with the Aphrodite cleanse, helping him big time. Good wall to disengage, and they are all good. So very active. I mean, I've got to say, like, overall, I think this lobby has been pretty... Oh, you got to be a bit careful here, buddy. Chalk ult's down, so we should be okay. Uh, oh, 2v3 is going to be able to secure the red for blue side. Good Cerberus ultimate, but remember, this is Aspect Cerb, so not a whole lot of actual setup right there, and the Cerberus is in a bit of trouble. Is going to get ulted, double stun. Bari ult will save for the time being. Thor is going to still finish it with a bit of healing. The bounce back, not enough to kill this Thor. And I thought that was a really good engage from K-Cup, but that's kind of the issue with the Cerberus aspect, right? Like, you're not actually pulling people back, and definitely a big weakness of it. Good damage onto this Bari. 2 is off the mark. Scythe is going to be good. Should I miss the guy? But will be fine. So, another one fight for red. I doubt they're going to be able to catch him. Do they? No. Okay, Cupid dashes in. He's actually going to kill the Thanatos off of that. And it looks like Cupid probably will die. Good jukes back. Cerberus jump in. Stun is going to be good. 2-for-1 trade extended. Definitely winning for red side. Because obviously you just got more kills. So, yeah, what I was going to say though is like the fights feel pretty organized. You know what I mean? Like people definitely are coming and like grouping and looking for things. They're not always necessarily working out the best, but yeah, I think you look at a pretty incredible fight if K-Cut has no Cerb aspect there. He got a really good ult off. And it was definitely solid. I think the after fight was a little bit weird because obviously saw Dusty dash in for a kill, but this Thanatos is very far behind, so that's good. On other notes and words, we are seeing a Sobek breastplate rush, which I don't love. Problem in this lane is just that you're not really going to be able to get good enough damage output without like a mystical mail or something first, and then you're going to see a lot of time wasted for shit like this, which doesn't actually do anything for you. So I don't like it. I like the Spirit Overrush from Chalk. It's a good pickup. Oh, and because of that, look, Sobek just wasted his ult. You're going to see Thanos semi-hover. They go for the blue. And I mean, they really could look for a blue buff invade here on a solo side. I think they should. And they should at least like pressure around here, even if it's not the blue, look for Ellie's or something. I think it's just a good look. We'll go back to duo lane. Looks like a Boxin is on the way. Really good damage. Again, the Cerberus ult is just no threat without this aspect untoggled. So yeah, I don't know, a little bit weak. I don't really see the Cerb aspect value this game. I was thinking at first, like, let me throw a bone. Maybe they're just not coming a lot, but they have so many interrupts. Just don't think it's too great. Thorwall is going to be good on this Chalk, but there's really no setup. And this is one of the traps here where it's like, look, if you're going to be playing on solo side, you can't be getting a subsequent invade on duo because what's going to happen is Cupid's just going to be in so much trouble. Way too far pushed up is red team here, and I think Liz almost certainly will die for it, if not this Cupid or both of them. Really good heal turnaround. They're playing this quite well, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, Cupid will fall. Kabrakan also body blocked a little bit, grouped on 4-on-2. Cersei's is going to be money, so he will survive. I think that's more of a testament of a good adjustment from red side, but again, you can't play strong duo if you're playing strong solo. It's just like a numbers thing. You're not gonna be covered. That is all to say, as a Thor, you never ever gank this lane. This is the most dead lane of all time. There's nothing to do here. You're just wasting your time if you're the Thor, because your Sobek's going to do 0 damage. So, yeah, that was a really bad gank. But even then on duo side, you just have to play that slow. Thor should come left, fight that purple with them, and they're all set. But he didn't, so yeah. Also, side note, in Tricked, he's playing Akate, right? In Deity Pride's Afro. We're seeing a lot of like roaming from this Akate, which is not really what you expect, as there's a bit of a... Sorry, I'm going all over the place and I'm not hitting the right person. There we go. We're seeing a bit of a roam, but it looks like nothing's going to happen. Gold Fury now pulled from red side. Can they get this? Sunder is available, and there is a Sunder on red, no Sunder on blue. And they will decide to stick it and get it. Lose the cab, but that's totally fine. 1 for nothing is completely okay if you get a gold. Can Cupid get out? He looks good. They're going to go for a dive. Alrighty, buddy. Let's see what we got here. Uh-oh. Cerb is just... Oh, he's alive. Okay, good job. Yeah, I thought for a second that was super fucked, but able to get it. 2 for nothing trade, but you still get the Gold Fury. I think overall you're pretty happy with that. And, yeah, I mean, that's big time stuff right there. To get that Gold Fury. You know, one of the big weaknesses of forcing this double shell is you're not going to... Oh my gosh, and they're just doing a dive right on this Bari who is on tower line. Furballer is completely alone and picked for absolutely no reason. Really greedy overstay right there. But that's one of the big advantages of, you know, forcing, you know... Well, they didn't really force it, but like playing with this Thanatos or against this Thanatos, you know, people feel the need to go shell, no Sunder. Even if you get a somewhat scuffed objective after fight, if you're getting that objective and you're red team, you're super happy, right? So I think not going Sunder is objectively just bad Smite. So definitely no. I gotta be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in this Cerberus performance so far, but we'll see. Maybe it improves. I think this shell pickup is super unnecessary. If someone's going shell in this draft, it's Furballer. And that's just like something for him to hold. And if not, like, you just don't go it. Because you can't not have Sunder. A little bit of damage onto Zaps and Rune Crafting. We see the Thor hover. This is fine now because Shock's low. Right, so it's okay to look for something. Really good wall. Double tap is going to be good. Beads forced. Kind of jumped into the Chockle right there is Gifty. So it looked a little bit dodgy, but it is okay. Does still have Aegis on this Thor. But he won't actually Aegis the Scythe. And he's just going to Aegis after taking all the damage, so will fall down. 2-for-1 trade, really good for Kiba. Good job by Rune Crafting to get the damage off in a bad trade. 2v2 happening in duo, and this is just a Bari moment. Unfortunately, Super Bloated God will be absolutely okay. And yeah, red team losing the plot a little bit. I think they did such a good job in this early game of playing strong with sides, where if we have two people on X side, we're not going to fight on the other side or vice versa. We're just going to fight where we're strong numerically, and they've kind of slipped from that, and ever since, game's going a little bit scuffed. Again, solo side fights can usually be just like a waste of, or are usually just a waste of time in this game. I did talk about that. That time I made an amendment because I thought, you know, Chalk slow, this looks decent, and then Gifty absolutely sold it, so I don't know, maybe just stay away from solo. I want to see them just hammer through duo if they're going to play through duo, because taking a 2v2 like that, that's just like not winning, kind of made them lose their lead. Again, they still have this Gold Fury advantage. They're up 1k as a team. It's not doomed, but a little bit rough. What's up, Sunprod? We see a Freya's Tears pickup on the Sobek. That's double cooldown for him. And Thor is getting nothing. No problem. I mean, it's a good idea to kind of hover a little bit. We're seeing some anti-heal being built by both teams. Understandably so. And again, if you're red team here, you have a couple of semi-messy fights that you don't love. You don't really worry about it. Thanatos is in the air. They're looking for Gifty. The hammer is not going to get the TP off in time, and he's just going to be picked. Really, really rough death right there for Gifty. But look, one of the things, if you're red team here and you're saying, man, we're losing our rhythm. We were up like 2.5k. Now we're practically even. Once they get this Naga, we will be even. Things are going a little bit bad. I mean, look, I think try to get this Afro involved in a fight, you know what I mean? Like, we're playing on sides without our linked character. Try to get the Afro involved in a fight and just play OBJ. So, gold's coming up. It's a perfect opportunity to group on this gold, utilize one or two of your Sunners. If the Chalk and Sobek just stay out of the fight, fine, take the 4v4. And just Sunder this gold, get it. You lose maybe Liz in the process, who cares? You know, it's a really good look, so... Instead, blue team is actually going to pull this, and this is just a terrible call, and they're going to get off this right away. But that's kind of the opportunity that maybe you want to look for soon. Just look for a Gold Fury, take advantage of this Sunder, take advantage of the Aphrodite link to somebody in mid, and you're going to have a winning fight. Like, absolutely. Not to mention, you know, this anti-heal is largely not finished on blue side, so this Aphro is going to kind of fry for a fight. I really think they should be looking. I don't love this, like, posturing for a mid pick. Unless they can get a wall here, which they actually did. So, oh, geez, camera work, XD. Thanatos is going to go up in the air. Gifty is a little bit low, but does have Aegis up. 30% Thor, 50% Thor, 10% Thana. So, I suppose it worked out okay. But I want to see the Gold Fury pull right now. Like, literally right now. Sobek walks mid to go right. I hate that. He should just go to gold, sack that wave at that point. It's not worth it. You're fasting for a reason. And with Gifty now half health, he's just roaming around for no reason. Again, like, we're not on the same page at all right here. I don't know what happened to the early game calling, but it's out the window. Now you just have a Thor half health who's doing absolutely nothing, walking around just PvEing. Sobek wasted half a wave rotating, and Aphrodite also just, like, got her wave stolen by Thor for no reason. Again, like, Cab and Effort made the right play. Just go to gold. You just group on the objective. Like, we have a Sunder advantage. You just have to take it. Especially when you force the Thana out. Now we're hovering around, but look how low Gifty is. And he's just going to be 10% health. And this entire time when you had a power play, Zaps is rotating now. Again, for the second time, mind you. Thor is just weak, out of the fight. And we just, like, for no reason have a numbers disadvantage. Now, you still have Sunder on red. Zaps has steal potential, and he's not going to be able to get it, unfortunately. So blue team does secure the gold. Chalk here in the fray, gets some damage off, does end up falling. So they are able to get one pick, maybe gets the Sobek pluck here on the back end. Thanatos is in the air. Starblitz 10% ult though, so he's just going to leave. 1-for-0 trade. Definitely a hard loss for red side, and that's completely on Gifty and Zaps. You just got to rotate. Like, if you're going to rotate, rotate, right? There's no reason not to pull that objective. That was, like, awful. That was really bad. So, tough stuff. Now I think they're going to look for a Pyro play. What's weird about this is when we had double Sunder up, we didn't want to do an objective, and now that we have neither up, we want to look. I still think from a posturing sense, this looks decent. Again, I don't know why we couldn't have done this on the other side solid minute ago, but Pyromancer secured, good stuff. And, I mean, despite it all, you're in about an even game, so they're doing okay. We see Thor now have the Brawlers finished. Obviously, Dusty, a little bit behind, but does have Sunbeam Bow, so his damage output is good. Might be a 1v1 over here. Nope. And, that is the fight, folks. Very, very fragmented. Again, I think a lot of the fight, like, awkwardness can just get fixed, excuse me, by, like, this is what we're doing, and we're very outright about this is why we need to do it. So, yeah. A little bit of damage on the Sobek. He's totally fine. Against Solan ganks. ZZZ, right? Cupid should be okay. He is quite a bit behind, though. We can take a quick look at stats for the first time this game. Why not, guys? Net worth. Oh, 0. Okay, I loaded. Aphrodite and, Aphrodite's actually at the top. That's kind of hype. Oh, shit. Dual lane fight. Soul lane fight, excuse me. A lot of damage on Kiba. Kiba's gotten out, like, 20% health a couple of times in a row here, so good for him. Runecrafting now under a little bit of pressure. Should be alright, though. Again, I like these roaming fights with the mid laner. I just need to happen more. So good on red team there for at least trying. They almost get the Thana, who was close. I like the fact that we have anti-heal being built on red side for this pretty heavy, like, healing builds. From these pretty heavy healing builds we're seeing. I think they're a good job. They're doing a good job with that. Anything else here crazy? No, net worth is, like, pretty balanced. Again, this isn't, like, an even game. It's just that this is, like, an even game that red team should be up, like, 3k in. And I want to be very clear, like, I'm not a captain. I know people on both of these teams, but I'm not, like, biased or anything. I'm going to be a proponent for, like, good Smite. And if you're a red team here, you should absolutely be ahead in this game. There's, like, no excuse. And not with the types of fights you've had and, like, map situations you've had, you should absolutely be ahead. So we'll see what happens. I think Intrict is one of those players who hasn't really had a lot of buzz around him as a player because he, like, used to play and then he quit and he kind of came back. And usually when you don't play for a bit, you kind of, like, just get automatically kind of shafted on lists and stuff. But in the limited amount of scouters and stuff he's played, he's looked actually really good. I think he might be a really great later round value pick. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, super mid engage here from the Cerberus Akate combo. Don't even need the Thanatos ult, really. And that's just a really clean pick. Again, Afro, Linking God. What are they not in that spot? Linked. So, gonna be usually a pretty easy pick. Really well done there on the collapse. I talk about the guy and he makes a big play. Love to see it. Now, 2v1 play, but Furballer does not give a damn. He is absolutely frying this Cupid. Dash is forced. Dash back from the Bari. Not a lot of damage on this Bari just yet. And she's walking right into the throes of her entire team. This Cupid's in a lot of trouble. Good Bell over the wall. And that's going to just be a second pick. Gifty is here now, so we'll get the land. But Cerberus is almost certainly dead. Saint Zaps does commit the teleport. And Runecrafting is already here, so we'll be a 3-for-1 overall on the map. Definitely winning for blue. Haven't really gotten too much farm from this yet, though, and you have to look at this. Gold Fury as kind of the counterplay. Notice they don't have Sunder, so they're looking for a pick first. Don't think they're going to be able to find one, so if you're blue, you make the decision. Do we pull gold to try to commit? Bad call. Or do we pull gold to try to look for a pick? Good call. Let's see if blue does it. So again, the idea is we get a stun on somebody, ideally the Thor, and then we just send it on them. That's the move. Why? Because the Sobek has Sunder. You're not going to get this objective. So, Chalk axes in. Blue team's a little bit afraid, and they're just going to get off. That's fine, too. If you can't feel a play, but Cerberus gets plucked, so it might not be all So simple just yet. Not an execute range, should be okay. Good damage from this Chalk. Ultimate on the Sobek is going to be good. Remember, that is their Sunder secured down, so it's gone now. You do have the support with Liz getting this Sunder, so they're going to look for it before Liz gets here, and they are going to be able to secure it. Thanatos will likely die here, but you got the objective. You just have to run if you're blue. Cerberus turning around to stun, a little bit of a waste, will not fall. Close, but not enough. And a really good disengage. Thank you so much, Peril Lume, for the sub. I really do appreciate it. Good play from him. Really good call on the Gold Fear right there. I thought they did a great job, blue side there, seeing, oh, Beads Force, and that's just going to be money. Good job in Tricked. I think he gets him with the auto. Nice. Beautiful. That's just a really good play on blue side right there. They're making sure to commit once the Sobek's killed, so no Sunder is available in the pit because Cab was still walking over, and they're able to... It is a 50-50, but, you know, like, that's... You live with that, so really good job making sure to get rid of that. And now, again, not the biggest lead for blue, but you look at the fact that you're able to get that second Gold Fury for the buffs on that Furballers on the split here. Red team's grouping for a Pyromancer. I would really like to see KC Cut get Vision on this. He's not going to, unfortunately. I think if he did, he would just call all 5 are there, and we see double side splits, but yeah, a little bit rough. Not rough, but like just a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think Furballer had a great shot to just like invade the entire topside jungle there and extend this lead further. We just didn't see them check the objective, which I think Serb just didn't check it because he was worried about a corner bait, didn't want to die. I mean, that's reasonable enough, I think. A little bit of a missed opportunity. Again, still a 2k lead for blue, so you're definitely happy. This double Gold Fury buff is like a really big intangible buff. And yeah, definitely a winning map state right now. This Akate is frying. Shard is finished. Again, I've talked about this a lot, guys. It's super important you build a pen semi-early on mages, and I think in Tricked is building it the absolute latest you can go at that it's still good. And yeah, he should be doing a ton of damage in these following fights. We're seeing a Shard match from Deity Prod. We're seeing, I think, an Oboe from Dusty. He does have Executioner. I don't love it, but I suppose it's okay. No pen yet from Furballer, but he is Bari, so maybe you can just kind of like break the rules. It's all good. And yeah, we'll see. Bit of an engage on this Afro. I don't think there's much here. I think this is a lot more of a fake out to just make her ult. And yeah, she didn't bite the bullet, so good play by Deity there. Seeing a bit of a hover in mid, really grouped from red team. They don't have a lot of range, though, to actually start a fight. They're going to get a pluck on this Chalk. Still a little bit split, but it looks like he can kind of just walk out. Again, I don't think their damage is that great on red team unless they're completely settled with the Cupid around, because it's just kind of a bunch of bits and pieces without him. Playing for Naga here is blue. Will secure it. So staying about the same amount ahead, and yeah, red team is kind of walking to fire, and you have to be really careful here because both tanks just backed for no reason. Now, if you're red team, do you know that? Maybe not. This is the freest fire pull of all time, and I think if you're red, even if you don't know that they backed, you always pull fire here. Why? Because you have double bomb and double sunder. The fact that they don't pull there is really rough. I know you're not always gonna like understand vision-wise where people are at, but you know where they are on the map generally. You always pull that fire. It's not even a question. You always pull that fire. I think red team's biggest issue this game, and the reason they're losing, is they have had objective prio and control in terms of relics and posturing almost all game, and they've never utilized it aside from one time in the early game. And that was when they got that first gold, which was great. Which got them up to an FK, and then they just forgot to do it again. So yeah, definitely a bit of a fumble. We see Divine Rune finished on Afro. Titan's Bane now going on this Cupid. Starters on supports done. And yeah, red team is grouping around this Gold Fury, saying, hey, we want to play for this. Again, I think you have a really good opportunity if you see these people around gold to just go fire and have Zaps hover for steal potential. I really don't think like there's a lot that blue team can do in a response here with how they're postured, but not going to do it. So yeah, we're going to have some type of a standstill around this Gold Fury. Really good poke from Intricked, and the Sakate's definitely got that aspect too, or so does even, you know, the Chalk 1-3. So we'll see if there's absolutely anything there. Kiba is pushing on mid. He's looking for a little bit of a wrap. Now, if you're a Kiba here, you can literally just run it down mid and force this tier 2, force the Thor back. Not going to do that. I kind of would like to see Kiba do that, so maybe in the future he will. Again, he's kind of wrapping, looking for a flank. Gets a bit of damage on Liz, but this isn't really a fight you want to take. Again, I really think Kiba, now that we have vision on the Thor in the pocket, we just split mid. Thor's actually wrapping around now, so they don't have vision on him exactly, but I think they did because they just autoed that way. Kiba should just split mid. Why? Because you create an opening. Cerberus jumps away a little bit after getting poked. And we are getting no mid split. We're seeing the Thor posture up a little bit aggressively, looking for an ult soon. A lot of damage on the Sobek. Thor is in the air. Thanatos is in the air. Cersei's in from the Cerberus. Will get an ultimate off. The Thanatos ult was not great, though. The Thor ult was okay. Bari's save is going to be really good. 2 down already. Cerberus is just barely going to fall there. But a 3-for-1 trade. Cab falls down to 4-for-1. And it's going to be great. I think Trick got a fat ult right there. We saw a lot of damage from the Bari ult. Also saves on blue side right there, keeping this Cab alive forever and getting a fantastic fight in the end for them. So blue, another winning fight, 3rd Gold Fury secured for them, and you're expecting this to just be an instant Fire Giant rush on the back end. Again, I think we saw red team begin that engage, but Trick just got really big damage off. We'll take a quick look at the player damage, and I think we're going to see Akate and Bari, yeah, right up at the top, so really, really high damage. I mean, this isn't actually too much higher than red side, but relevant damage in that moment, and that's kind of all you're hoping for, so big time. Looking for the Pyros, so they decided not to go for the fire play, I think just because they have no, bomb or anything. It's reasonable, a little bit safe, a little bit slow, but I guess you can make the argument, hey, we're probably going to get starter item advantage here. We're probably going to finish some pen items or, things of the sort. So, no need. I think if you're a blue team here, the way the game stalls out and the thing you really want to avoid is fighting around fire. It's much better here to just shove a lane and get a tier 2. Ideally, these weakened tier 2s up here and here. Why? Because they're weakened. And if you group on fire without secure, you're probably just going to play for a pick, which is kind of hard to do into this draft with the Aphrodite. And if you fuck up the objective, you're going to lose the game. So it's just not worth it. I really like this from red, though. We are grouping around the objective. Will we pull it? No, we're looking for a pick. Maybe we'll still pull it. We have time. If we're red team, we have time. Okay, we're not going to pull it. That's fine. It's a bit weird, because they're kind of just like grouped around the red buff as 3. They're doing the Naga, so I guess that's okay. But, again, I think if you're a blue, you group and you push mid here. You get this tier 2, you're semi-close to fire, and you call it a day. They're letting Furballer like kind of greed farm, which is fine, because they want him to hit... well, he's got a starter, but they want him to just like continue this build. And he's got a left split, and I really do like this, right? Again, we're letting our Bari just farm, and we're getting tier 2 action. We can't see waves on Spectator. Good attempt from Gifty, but there is no pick here. And again, if you're gonna play Fire Giant, guys, with 2 Sunders, 2 bombs, and you're afraid to pull the objective, I guess you just got to cover the split, because Furballer is on the way, and this Phoenix is just gone. Again, red team here is doing a whole lot of nothing. These are phantoms and ghouls over here, and a Phoenix will fall down for absolutely free. Really, really good shot calling from blue side here, just stopping backs in that spot. But again, red team, you have to pull the trigger. They have been so undecisive. Finally, a stun on Intricked. The cage is also going to be good, but really no follow-up in terms of damage on him just yet. And he's just going to tank a full Cupid ult and be totally okay. Liz will fall down to this Thanatos ult, and they'll finally get a pick back, but left Phoenix is down. Furballer's already here. This Aphrodite's completely split, will fall. Sobek in the middle of 4. Does he get anything? Likely no. Gifty, Silence, Scythe, and the hammer is going to be good from Gifty. Will finally pick one, but it is a 2-for-3 trade. Left Phoenix is already still down. And a hard one fight for blue with a great stun on the back end. Aegis, after all the damage is used for a 3rd time this game, will get one in the trade. Will inevitably fall down in just a second here. 4-for-3 trade. Hugely winning for blue side. And we'll see what happens on the back end of this. Probably resets as well as just like aggro wards. I did talk about, obviously you don't necessarily always want to pull on blue, but now that you have a Phoenix advantage, a little bit better, right? Definitely a little bit better, a little bit easier. You don't have actives on your backline for quite a while, but again, you can just play this slow. Get a Pyromancer, weaken a tier 2, go to gold, get those tier 2s even weaker. Look at those even first if you really want to. If you really want to play ultra slow, that's fine. Again, I think pulling fire here for the intensive purpose of taking a fight's really good. But they might wait just because they don't have actives on backline. So we'll see. They could also just run straight to gold. That's like not a bad call. If you're red team here and you sense that blue team doesn't want to pull this as much, what you do is you just run straight to fire and do it. But they're not going to do that. They're going to double up on this top wave here. I think this is really like a super noob thing to do. If you're going to be spotted on a wave, you can't show 2 on it. Because now look what we have here on top right. We have a red team kind of crowded around a red buff just doing it. While the entirety of blue team is like, we don't have actives up, we're not going to pull the objective. And again, we still just have 2 Sunders and 2 bombs that are just never going to be used. They're just being saved for the next game. So, yeah, completely missed opportunity. Now Thor again here, just hovering, and nothing will happen. I really think if red team, for a single time this game, just like stopped being scared and pulled an objective, they'd just get it. But it's just not going to happen, so I've made my peace with it. I'm trying to show the avenue, though, because it does exist. Beads now coming up on the Sakate, soon to be followed on this Bari. We're going to see a lot of fight potential kind of come back immediately. And I think almost certainly you're going to see blue team look for some kind of pick potential. Remember, excuse me, double tier 2s are weakened, so you can begin to look for that push with left fire waves as well, also pushing. I don't think blue team ever pulls this with the intent of securing it. They're always looking for a pick. You have a lot of poke within Tricked, so a lot of really good opportunities. We just have to kind of see if they can, you know, get anything going with it. Red team now hovering. Remember, these fire waves on left are going to be a problem eventually. So if you're blue, you don't have to do literally anything. If you're red, you feel really uncomfortable, and you're probably going to send this Thor to back soon. But they're using the Thor up right now to try to get like safe engage with the wall. But again, blue team's doing a good job just playing back. I think comm-wise, blue team is looking really, really cohesive. If you are Starblood, now he didn't do this earlier. I call him Kiba, that's his other name. You could just split mid. Like, you literally could just split mid and force people over. He's not going to do that because he wants to play safe, which is fine, but it is a choice. Now that they're hovering mid, obviously, no. But when they're not hovering mid, you can just split mid, bring them over, and then give your team like an advantage over on fire. Again, this Thanatos Thor 1v1 is pretty Thanatos favored, so it's doable. We're actually just going to see Kiba go into the air, though. Trade ults 1-for-1. I mean, I think that's a pretty value trade, right? This Thor is a lot less scary, and that's going to be their go signal to pull. Now notice Kiba is pretty poked, and Cupid was left to clear waves. But remember, blue team doesn't really have great secure, so you're looking for the fight here. And I don't love this. I think they're taking too much damage from this fire here, and they haven't gotten any initiative. You need to bring them in, but you also need to be healthy. And Trick double tapped right away, and he's just going to get caught here, I think. A lot of damage onto Gifty, and Trick is actually not dead just yet. And somehow, some way, with the Bari ult to save him, he is going to live. Complete turn there with the Bari. Really good job from Kiba to save against Gifty. And finally, Furballer will die, but Trick does live. It's going to be a 3-for-1 double mez from the Akate. Shield is money. And we got ourselves a baller here. And Trick 10-1-6. Big fight. Dia side 5-for-2. That looked like an absolute disaster class for blue at the start of that fight. I think we saw a really good Bari ult there on the backline, as well as just like a full total collapse on Gifty. And again, another fight where this Aegis has just gotten no value because it's just not being popped at the right time. You have to imagine if you get that Aegis pop off at a good time, you just like hard win that fight. Also, double Sunders. I mean, if you're going to full commit, you may as well use the Sunder for damage when they're that low. So, some really poor active usage from Red, which just opens up a left Phoenix. Again, that's all that's going to happen. So, you're going to see a sort of reset of the past game state. But remember, in this game, when you're ahead, you're going to be getting 3k pots first and backliners. So, expect to see and Trick to get one fairly soon. We can take a quick look at net worth. I'll give you guys like a blanket idea of when people begin to get them. So, Intrict is at 19k, and depending on the build you're going in mid, you're going to start getting your first 3k about 21,000 gold, sometimes 20,700, 500, sometimes 21,500. The point is he is getting fairly close, and when you look at the Bari, it's something fairly similar, and when you look at the backline on the other side, they're quite a bit further. So, if you want to play it slow and quite literally just farm for these 3ks as backliners here, you can. Right, like on the junglers, obviously it can be helpful, but it's not nearly as relevant. It's really about these backliners getting them. So these farm leads that they're building off of these one fights, even if they're just kind of resetting the map state, are definitely like important. Alright, a bit of a hover around this Pyromancer. We're not seeing anything actually being pulled again from either side. I think you're going to see Aphrodite now cover off Fire Waves potentially. No, not yet. So they're just going to continue to group around. Again, I think blue team has kind of showed that they're never looking actually for the objective. So if you're red, you have an opportunity to push sides a bit. I think they're still a bit spooked though, nonetheless. They're probably saying like, hey, that fight should have worked. It just didn't. But we got into a good spot. I mean, it's a fair point. So maybe just looking to run it back. And again, I really don't think it's a terrible call. So we'll see what happens. Playing really aggressive. Kiba is on the side here, and he is way too far pushed up. I think he could just get caught. Good Thanatos ult in response. Again, a little bit unnecessarily forced, but remember, you have these left fire waves beginning to shove. Red team could look for a very aggressive force here to look for a pick. But it's just a little bit difficult to, and again, I'm not so sure how you do it. So instead, they're going to get off of the fire, never even pull it, and look for a pick, not able to get it, so now they're choosing, finally, we have to pull this objective, and let's try to bring them towards us. Thanatos has no ult. So Chalk is the first one to walk, and he really needs to get in there a little bit, though. I hate how non-aggressive this Chalk is playing. You just kind of walk up and ult. You don't even think about it here. They're committing for the objective, it looks like. We'll see if they're able to get it. It's going to be a flip, and Red Team will get it with this double Sunder Bomb secure. And they do trade one here. Gifty, big kill on the back. Burial is going to be huge. 3 already did, 4 already dead. And despite the fire going well for them, this Burial stacking onto everybody is just going to create a very good trade. We're seeing Kiba now look for Gifty. I don't think he was able to see him, so he won't be able to stop the back. With 4 dead, that should almost certainly be the game. Again, another fat Burial in the team fight. Also, to be fair, a lot of damage from Dusty, so good on him. But a fat Burial from the team fight is just going to lend him so much damage. And Trick getting some more damage off there as well. And a very, very winning fight. Big Akatse ult there on the backside. Really good job. I mean, I thought they did a great job fighting that. And again, this should just be a very easy secure. Thor going in on Gifty. Not enough damage, though, just by himself. And he will fall. Game 1 taken by blue team. Pretty clean overall. There is a big precedent in these draft league games that captains will switch players around after a win or a loss, and it is the stupidest thing in the world if the game is semi-competitive, because it makes no sense. You're supposed to adjust, not switch players. That's not how games work. So I hope they don't switch players. I think they should just run it back. The game was absolutely winnable for Red Team, and it was just decision making. Which is every game, literally, but still. I think that was pretty competitive and good. So yeah, key things to note that game. What did we really see? We saw blue team have, in my opinion, semi-poor active item consideration. Not active item, excuse me, relic consideration. And they hugely got away with it due to red team's unwillingness to capitalize on objectives.